Welcome everyone back to the IPAC Canada Novice course. We're going to give you an overview of the course website and walk you through the functionality in the website so you have a better understanding how to navigate. So when you're logging into the IPAC Canada course, we've provided you with a URL and it's ipaccanada.blackboard.com. Put that into the address bar. Everyone was provided a username and a password via email. Okay, so everyone's username starts with IPAC . And it's often a combination of your first and last name. Okay, so we created a fake student in order to walk you through this. So we'll student tester, and then you're just going to put in your password.
All right. These are case specific, so just make sure you're aware of that. And the other thing is, if you have not got a password for some reason at this point, please let us know because we'll set you up. Okay.
There we go. Okay, so when you first log into the course, what you're going to see is a big black screen, and it's an opportunity. It'll walk you through how to actually upload your picture and a bit of a biography. So everyone, that is a mandatory part of the course, and it's covered in Module 1, Unit 1.1. That is an exercise we're asking everyone to do, and we will hound you till you do it. So make sure that you put up your picture and a bit of a bio. So when you first log in, that's the first thing you're going to see. We have an extra video that we provided you with the steps on how to get that task accomplished if you don't do it the first time you log in. Okay? So when you log in, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. I want to draw your attention here to my announcements. Every time you log into the Blackboard site, you need to look for new announcements. This is where Jane and I, as the course coordinators or the instructors or the discussion facilitators, post very pertinent information that's time sensitive. So if there's an update because there's a broken link, or even the introduction to the next module, we will post that information in here. Sometimes we will even answer questions in here or post we'll post that Survey Monkey's in here and that sort of thing. So every time you log in, see if there's been a new announcement. And in order to do that, you'll go under My Announcements and just click on, it'll show you the most recent announcement, and then you can read them. You can see there's a bunch from last year's course through here. Now to get back to where we were, you're going to want to click on My Pro Sites, which is this red tab at the top of the screen, and that'll take you back to the main page. The course is made up of about 50 students, and we've broken you into groups of 25 approximately. Everyone's been enrolled in either Section 1 or Section 2. You will not overlap through the duration of the course. So you want to click on your section under My Courses, and that'll take you into the main page of the course. Something new that's been offered, however, by Blackboard Pro Sites is the ability to upload the course website using a tablet or your iPhone. Unfortunately, the IPAC Canada course, we don't offer any sort of technical help with this, but you can get technical help if you actually call Pro Sites, if you're having issues getting into these, the Blackboard individual app function. So in order to find it, you would just type in Pro Sites in your app store, and you can load it onto your tablet or iPhone, okay? So let's go into the section. So this particular test student has been loaded into Section 1. You might be in Section 2. This is going to take you to the main page of the course. And on the left-hand side is where all the course functionality is. And this is where you're going to access course announcements, course information, discussion, and then all the module content and any particular tools as well that you might want to use.
Okay. And just point out that not all the modules may be listed at this point, or they may not all fields may be populated when you're looking at it this time. We do populate Blackboard as the information becomes available. So modules are revised and reviewed every year, so the information, if it's not revised yet, will not be in the folder, but it will come up about a week before the module starts. But this is like your table of contents for the course. We'll just start in. Heather talked about announcements. Go into course information. And under this folder, it's general broad-based information about the course. So there's the orientation videos, which this is one of them that we ask you to look at. There's the course information and calendar. And this is, we keep talking about this, it is very important. It outlines various things about the course structure, information about the textbook, the faculty members, the course website. But the last page is really important when it gives you all your dates and what is covered on each module in each week and who the particular instructor is. So it's important if you print this out so that way you can stay on track and know what dates are what. If when you're looking at this, you know, for example, that you are going to be on a already scheduled vacation on a particular week, let us know well in advance, because we could often make arrangements to accommodate you, move your discussion group, or get your exam earlier, or give you a bit of an extension if required. So just have a look at that and project it against your personal calendar and see if there's any conflicts. Also, okay, so the next one is a grading rubrics for discussion participation. As we mentioned in the orientation video, discussion participation is part of the course in some modules. And this is just a general overview of, kind of very broadly, of what the person grading the discussion would be looking for. They're looking for a frequency of participation, the quality of the posts, and this type of thing. The bottom line with the discussions is you post frequently, you post early, don't wait to the last day to post because it's hard to get a discussion going, and post quality content, okay? But that's just kind of a general overview of what they're looking for under that section. Course policies and forms is another area that we actually have a brief look at. You don't have to memorize them all, but just be aware that they're there. All the course policies are listed and talking about basically admissions, which we've already got to that point, your access to the course material, tuition payment and refund policies, policies about passing grade, whether you need a certificate at the end, transcripts. Also, if you need an extension or you're deferring a module because something's happening, they're all there, okay? So just have a look at that and be aware of what is there, so if it ever comes up that you need them, okay? And the next section in this thing, in this part under the college policies and forms, is also the forms. For different things, you need to complete a form to submit. If you need an extension on an exam, you should submit the extension form and send it, and they all tell you on the form who it actually has to be submitted to. So those are all there. So just be familiar with them and know that that information is there. Okay, the Student Blackboard Orientation Manual. This is a supplement to this particular video and to some of the other information we've given you. It's just basically it's a manual on how to work through Blackboard with various screenshots and things that may be helpful to you if you have a problem. If you do have something you can't figure out and you're having problems with, you can't get to your grades or you can't see your announcements, have a look here and see if it helps. If it doesn't help you, then contact us and we can help you. But it is kind of a good resource to go to if it's in the middle of the night and we're not around to answer your questions, okay? So have a look. Just know that that's there as a resource. The study tips for students. This was created mainly because a lot of our students have been not studying for a while, so it might have been a while since you've actually taken a course. So it might be some tips about time management, how to organize yourself to stay on track. We do keep encouraging you, if you have a problem and you find you're falling behind, please do not hesitate to call us at any time. Contact us and we can try to get you back on board. But that's just some tips that might be helpful to you. Everybody studies differently, but we find there's some tips there that might be helpful. Course faculty and bios. This is just you click on here, and if you click on either course administrators, course instructors, or course facilitators, it'll show you a picture of the particular person and a little bit of a bio about them. Since this is an online course, it's, to help, bridge that disconnect you have that you don't actually see the people regularly. Okay? So that's all under the course information calendar. Just have a look at it, be familiar with what's in there, so that down the line, if you know you need to access something, you'll remember that that's where you find it.
Great. Thanks, Jane. So I'm going to walk everybody through how to access the course materials. This is the important part of the course where you get all the course notes and all the information you need to study day to day in order to work through the course. So when you click on Module 1, 2, 3 through 6, at the bottom you'll find the assigned discussion group. So everybody's broken into groups of approximately 5 to 6 individuals, and these are the folks that you're going to discuss with through the duration of the course. Now, we do a fairly extensive job making sure that everybody's broken out into groups with a variety of backgrounds. So not every group is made up of nurses from PEI, but instead you're sort of varied backgrounds so that you can have more meaningful conversation and understand how other folks function in different areas, okay? So that's how you're all broken out, and sometimes we will shuffle the groups. So for each module, do go ahead and make sure you're still in the same discussion group. Often, if we did change your discussion group, we'll give you an email. We'll send you an email to let you know we've done so. But generally, you stay in the same discussion group for the duration of the course. Above your listed area of assignment for discussion group, you'll find a weekly discussion participation, and that's a breakdown of when your group is discussing and how much it's actually worth for that particular week. All right. Some weeks there is all groups are discussing. It just depends on the layout for that particular module. The notes themselves are found.
I just want to point out that because there are different sections, if you're in section 2, you're not going to see group A. You'll see group B. All the people discussing in section 2 are called Bs, and section 1 are As. So the screen might not look like this one. Okay.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, section 1 is all As. Section 2 is all Bs. So you're just broken down into individual groups from there. Just know what group you're in and what week you're discussing, and that's the extent of sort of what you need to understand. So then as far as the module notes, we have M1 notes. It's actually a folder. You're going to click on it, and that'll take you in. It's broken down by week, and it gives you the dates that it actually runs. And then when you go in there, it's broken down into individual units, and sometimes there's additional tools or readings that you might find in there that you might be asked to review as part of the course readings. And then you can just click on them, and it'll upload the notes, and then you can print them or read them on the screen. Okay?
I just want to say right now, too, because like Heather says, you can print them or read them on the screen. You have access to the course material for the duration of the time you're taking the course. So as of next July, you will be deregistered and you'll no longer have access to any of the information. So if there's notes or references or anything that you want to maintain, download it and save it, or download it and print it, because after the course finishes, about a month after it's finished, you will not have access to it anymore. Okay?
That's right. So it's important to, in each module, there's actually the exam document approximately 10 days before it's due. We will post the actual exam as a Word document so that you can download the exam, as you can see over here, and you can actually upload the exam and save it to your desktop and start filling it out, okay? It is a Word document, so you can just start adding information to it. There's extensive instructions on the front of the exam of how to save it, what to name it, and then how to go ahead and submit it. And it gives you a good overview. The due date is also listed on there as well. And you'll notice the examiner or the instructor who is responsible for marking your exam is also listed on the front of the exam. So if you ever had any questions about exam content, you're going to want to see who the instructor is on the front, and you can email them through the Blackboard email function, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. So that's how to actually download your exam. Like I said, it's not available right away. It's available 10 days before the due date. Sometimes we're nice and sometimes we'll make it available a little bit earlier if it's written and ready by then. Okay. Once you've saved it to your desktop, there's actually, in order to submit your exam, there's an exam submission link, and you would just click on that. And this is how you're going to actually upload it. So you're just going to hit Browse My Computer, find it on your computer desktop or wherever you happen to save it, and then you're going to go ahead and submit. Don't forget to submit. Please don't save as a draft. That goes nowhere. That actually just stays on your profile. In order to submit it to the instructor, you need to hit the red Submit button.
Yeah, and make sure you do save a copy online in case there is a problem with your submission. And also make sure your name is on every page of the exam. The instructor is getting 50-odd exams coming all through, so you have to have your name on each page, otherwise, you know, some may be lost.
That's right. So you'll notice every module, that's what we were just in module 1. You'll notice module 2 is set up a very similar way with the grading scheme, and sometimes we'll actually have online quizzes. So that's one thing that's a little bit different. You'll see online quizzes, and you would just click in those, and they actually come up right on the screen, and you can begin that way. Okay, and walk through the quiz. And there's particular due dates for those quizzes. So every module has generally the same layout, but the evaluation might be slightly different in that there might be quizzes, there might be discussion, there might be assignments, and then every module has an exam. Okay? And Jane's going to walk you through the practicum component of the course now.
Okay. So as was mentioned before, this course consists of a 12-hour practicum at the end. It's a short practicum, and it's completed and submitted towards the end of the course. You can start thinking about your practicum project at any time. However, the practicum coordinator is not on board until the spring, so you know you can't submit it till then. We do encourage you to finish most of the modules before you actually finish it, and but we could ask you any general questions in the meantime. But on here will be the different forms that you need to get approved and filled out before you get to do your practicum. I just want to caution you that if you're doing a practicum, particularly if you're doing one not within the facility that you normally work in, that there often need service agreements and whatnot in place. And, you know, you start thinking about what is required early, because it requires the IPAC Canada to get in touch with your facility to set up service agreements. Service agreements are in place for several facilities, but it's just something to keep in mind, okay? So all the practicum information will be there, and we'll be giving a lot more information about the practicum in January. But you could start thinking about your project and thinking about what, you know, who at the facility you're wanting to do it at, that we need to get in touch with and sort of set up the administrative part of it.
So now I'm just going to walk everybody else through some more functionality with the course, and what you'll see over here is the announcements area, email, my grades, and help. So this area is kind of like the tools area. So, you know, announcements links back to what we originally went over with announcements. This is the internal email function. So within this area, this is a great way to get a hold of other students potentially, but also the instructors, discussion facilitators, or Jane and I. So we would suggest not emailing all users or all groups, but you're going to want to either click on individual instructors' names, potentially to send email addresses out, to send emails rather to individuals, okay? And that's the email functionality. In order to access your grades, you can just click on My Grades. This student is not registered currently and nothing's been graded, but this is how it comes up. So it comes up, you'll see the individual week and then what the assigned amount was and what your final grade is. Sometimes we don't find that this is overly user-friendly the way that it's laid out in Blackboard. So sometimes we do our best to sort of correct the layout to make sure that the columns are totaling and you get a proper final grade for your entire module. So you can see how it's broken down into individual assigned weeks, and then you get an overall grade for the that particular module as well. And we just want to emphasize you do need to get 65% in every module in order to pass and get your certificate at the end of the course.
And like I say, like Heather said, there are sometimes quirks in the way they total, because sometimes you don't do a discussion or it's moved and it kind of messes up. But just rest assured, we keep a separate grades folder, which is maintained for several years with IPAC Canada as part of our accreditation process, and that is what is used to create your transcript if required. So if it doesn't total up just right, just rest assured that this is not the official copy of your marks.
That's right. So, and if you need to use the help function, which is over on the left-hand side, sometimes this is useful as well to whip through there. In order to log out of the course, you can stay logged in, but just make sure that you often refresh the page, because if there's new announcements and stuff that come up, you want to make sure it's most relevant and current. Also, when you're using the discussion board, which I'm going to go through in just a moment, you're going to want to make sure you have the most refreshed view. So when you go through the discussions are found actually right up here in this area. So you're going to click on discussions, and that's going to take you to the discussion board. So the discussion board is built such that we have a general discussion area. So in this particular area, you can post any IPAC related or course related questions that are sort of general and that you might want either other students to answer and potentially the instructors and discussion facilitators. Now, if something is time sensitive, we would say don't post it in the general discussion area. The fastest way to get a hold of Jane and I or the instructors is generally through email. But if it's more of a general question and you don't care if students answer it or the course coordinators, you can plop it in there in the general discussion and folks will go ahead and respond to you. So I'm going to take you into the general discussion, just get a general idea of sort of what's posted in here. Folks will you can actually hit create thread, and then in there it's almost like typing an email up. You just put the title of what you want to call it, and then the actual content of your question goes into the body. Okay, and then you can hit submit and it posts it in here.
I just thought of something actually. When it comes to your emails too, when Heather says put the title of your subject, when you're sending an email too, it's very important you put a subject line in your emails. We do get a lot of spam emails, and if there's no subject line in there, it will not be opened, it will be deleted. So make sure if you're sending an email or posting a discussion that you put your subject line in so that we're aware that it is legit.
That's right. I think so. A large component of our course is made up of participation online. As you are aware, it is an online course. In order to evaluate students' understanding of the course and the course content, we do have online discussion. Some folks love it, some folks don't. But at the end of the day, it's distance ed, and that's the way it goes. We have to make sure everyone participates and is engaged in the course in order to get marks, right? So the way that it's laid out is, I'll just scroll down to the bottom here. You'll see individual, the week is posted, and if we actually click into it, there's questions posted. You would click into your individual groups, and you can post your response to the questions that are in there. As part of Module 1, Unit 1.1, we actually have an exercise to help you get used to posting in the discussion board. Some folks find it a little bit confusing at first, but we'll guide you through that, and we really start slow out of the gate in getting used to posting discussion. So like we said, there is an exercise, and then we roll into week 2, and then you can take your time getting those discussions up. So the way that the discussion is built is usually the questions are put up. You have a day or two to sort of formulate your answers to that, and then we ask you to post them, and you continue to reply to students. So generally speaking, you need to make sure that your original, there will be a question posted. You need to make sure that you answer the main question. Everyone must answer the main question, and then you can respond to other students. But everyone is responsible for creating an answer to the first question that's asked, okay? And then from there you can respond to individual students, and that's how you get your participation marks. So your main answer, and then individual replies to other students, building on the conversation moving forward. That's how you get marks in the discussion board.
And sometimes the discussion facilitator will prompt you to answer other questions as well, okay? Yeah. And there is a formal graded discussion in modules 1, 3, and 4. Okay, and for some of the other modules, we don't cover it here, but we have multiple choice quizzes, which are done online, and which you get your feedback right away, what your score was on it, okay? So when we do introduce the first quizzes in module 2, you'll get more information about that, okay?
All right. So that's really it for the sort of the general layout. So I'll take you back to the main pro sites area, and this is the general layout of the course. If you have any questions or any technical issues with the course, contact Jane and I, and we can hopefully walk you through some of the functionality.